Hello everyone and welcome back to Sri Lankan Life Sciences Academy. In today's session, we are diving into lesson 4 of Unit 4 for Edexcel IAL Biology. Our focus is the Kelvin cycle, also known as the light-independent reactions of photosynthesis. So, let's get started and understand how plants turn carbon dioxide into useful sugars. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain how carbon dioxide is reduced using products from the light-dependent reactions in the Calvin cycle and describe the simple sugars produced by photosynthesis and how plants use them. It takes place in the stroma of chloroplast and involves a sequence of enzyme-controlled reactions called the Calvin cycle. Here, carbon dioxide is reduced and carbohydrates like glucose are synthesized. This is the final stage of photosynthesis. The light-independent stage of photosynthesis doesn't require light directly but depends on the ATP and NADPH produced in the light-dependent reactions. A common misconception is that these reactions only happen in the dark. In fact, Kelvin cycle reactions occur in both light and dark, but they only stop in the dark when the products of the light dependent stage NADPH and ATP are no longer available. Let's take a moment to meet the scientist behind this process, Melvin Kelvin. He discovered the cycle using radioactive carbon-14 to trace the pathway of carbon in photosynthesis, which earned him the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1961. Step 1 is carbon fixation. Carbon dioxide from the air combines with RuBP, a 5-carbon sugar. This reaction is catalyzed by Rubisco, the most abundant enzyme on Earth. The product is a highly unstable 6-carbon compound which immediately splits into two molecules of GP, glycerate 3-phosphate, each with 3 carbon atoms. Here's a visual summary of the carbon fixation step. You can see how carbon dioxide enters the cycle, combines with RuBP and quickly breaks down into two GP molecules. In the reduction phase, each GP molecule is reduced to form GALP or GALP, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This step requires energy from ATP and hydrogen from NADPH. So, NADPH becomes oxidized and ATP provides the energy needed for the reaction. GALP is a key 3-carbon sugar used in the next stages. This diagram summarizes the reduction phase. Note how GP is converted to GALP using NADPH and ATP from the light-dependent stage. Next comes the regeneration of RuBP. Most of the GALP is recycled to reform RuBP so the cycle can continue. This step also uses ATP, making it energy dependent. Without this step, the cycle would stop after one turn. Now let's talk about how glucose and other organic compounds are produced. Some of the gulp molecules are used to synthesize glucose, a 6-carbon sugar. Others may enter glycolysis directly or be used to make amino acids, lipids, or nucleotides. This diagram gives you a complete overview of the Kelvin cycle. From carbon fixation to regeneration of RuBP, it all works together to produce organic molecules from inorganic carbon dioxide. Let's test your understanding. Here's a blank summary diagram of the Kelvin cycle. Your task is to fill in the blanks for each step. Pause the video here and give it a try. Here's the completed diagram. Check your answers and make sure you have identified each step: carbon fixation, reduction, regeneration, and glucose production. Remember, the Kelvin cycle is only one part of photosynthesis. Here's the full summary of both light-dependent and light-independent stages. Photosynthesis is a continuous process in the presence of light. Alright, now let's get into the maths of the Kelvin cycle. This part is really important because it helps us understand just how much energy is needed for a plant to make even one sugar molecule. Each turn of the Kelvin cycle produces two molecules of gulp. But remember, 5 out of every 6 gulp molecules are recycled back into RUBP to keep the cycle going. So, if 2 gulp molecules are needed to make 1 hexose sugar and only 1 out of every 6 gulp molecules is available for making sugars, then how many turns of the Kelvin cycle are needed to make enough gulp for a single hexose sugar? The answer 6 turns, because 6 turns will produce 12 gulp molecules and 2 of those can go towards making the sugar, while 10 are recycled to regenerate RUBP. Now let's look at the energy needed. Each turn of the Kelvin cycle fixes 1 molecule of carbon dioxide. It also uses 3 molecules of ATP and 2 molecules of reduced NADP. So, for 6 turns, ATP needed 6 into 3, 18 ATP. Reduced NADP needed 6 into 2, 12 NADP, NADPH. Each turn of the Kelvin cycle uses 3 ATP, 2 NADPH. To make 1 hexose sugar, we need 6 turns. So, 18 ATP, 12 NADPH we have to use. So, to summarize, 6 turns of the Kelvin cycle, 18 ATP molecules, 12 NADPH molecules are needed to produce 1 molecule of hexose sugar. What happens to gulp? It's the main product of the Kelvin cycle. It can be used to make glucose, form sucrose for transport, build starch for storage, produce cellulose for structure, or create amino acids and nucleotides. Some gulp is also used in respiration, giving the plant energy. It can also be converted to acetyl-CoA, which forms fatty acids, phospholipids for membranes, or storage lipids and other key molecules. Here's a breakdown of how the Kelvin cycle contributes to organic synthesis. 2 gulp form a hexose sugar. Gulp can convert glycerol and GP convert into fatty acids, and together they make lipids. Gulp also helps form amino acids. Thanks for watching this lesson from Sri Lankan Life Sciences Academy. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe for more A-level biology content. See you next time for another deep dive into Edexcel IAL biology.